Yo, it's Mac from the Everyday Nobody's podcast. I know you see the title, so let's get straight to it. Candace Owens, she might be in danger. Her career may literally be over. For some reason, Candace Owens has this obsession with Brigitte Macron.
Well, the massive lawsuit filed by the Macrons against Candace Owens is extraordinary and unprecedented on many levels. This is the world leader suing a US citizen for defamation in a US court. And the US citizen is not a legacy news brand or a business mogul, but a successful podcaster, which is a measure of the shifting balance of power in media. President Macron and his wife Brigitte accused Candace Owens of relentless worldwide bullying and a campaign of global humiliation over the repeated claim that Brigitte Macron is a man.
Now look, don't judge me. I'll watch Candace Owens. I'm not ashamed to say it. I ain't gonna say she does everything right. I'm not gonna say she hasn't said some foul stuff that pissed me off in the moment. But as far as a content creator, I like some of her stuff. She makes good points sometimes. So back to the story. Basically, Candace Owens, she made some claims about Brigitte Macron possibly being a man. Now, this is the wife of the president of France, so you probably shouldn't do that unless you really know what's going on. And then you still probably shouldn't do that, but whatever. She's looking for the truth, so it is what it is. So how it all started, there was a journalist who made these claims who was actually from France. They ended up getting sued. You know, they basically wrote a whole book about it, about how they felt like Brigitte was a man. And Candace heard about it and heard that they were being sued, but they weren't being sued for defamation. Like, of all things, they were being sued for bullying. And Candace thought that was odd because if they're lying on you, why wouldn't you sue for defamation? Wouldn't that make more sense because they're knowingly telling a lie about you? But that's not what Brigitte did. So Candace said, okay, let's bring these people on. Bring the journalists on, and they start sharing facts, or quote unquote facts. We don't know what's true. I haven't seen this person's, nether region, so we'll see. As soon as Candace heard this story and heard that they were basically being persecuted in their own country for possibly telling the truth, she was off to the races.
I think you're a man. I think it's beyond obvious that you're born a man. You may want to split hairs about, well, I'm really a woman. I feel on the inside, I'm a woman. That insulting wig that you're wearing. It's ridiculous. It's like you're laughing at us. What I'm saying is that you were born a man and you will die a man.
She was ready to go find out. Candace looked at it like, okay, if this isn't true, why don't you just prove it? All you got to do is show a baby picture or something, or get somebody that knew you as a child, or you said you had 3 kids. Like, where's the pictures of you actually being pregnant? Candace just wanted simple things.
Actually, because we were in communication with her legal team long before she launched this website, we never asked for something that deep. We literally gave her a list of 21 yes or no questions and asked her to just answer it on the record. Also offered to fly over to Paris and interview Brigitte to get her side of the story. Before we even launched the first episode of the Becoming Brigitte series, we were in communication and offered them a chance to rebut. And they came back and said, we don't have to submit anything to prove that she is a woman, and we don't want to answer your questions. I've published those legal letters. It's the reason why people that watch this series are just not believing the media when they pretend that this was like, oh, Candace wanted the blood of the first lady. No. Also, she's not suing. Obviously, my series was based on a book entitled Becoming Brigitte that I did alongside the journalist who worked on the story for 10 years. She's not suing him for defamation, but she is suing him for cyberbullying, which is really, if you read through the lawsuit against me, they are misrepresenting the things that I've said, taking them out of context, and pretty much smearing me in the process by pretending that we asked something extraordinary by saying we won't run this entire series if you can just show us a few photos of you living in this 30-year period.
Candace created a whole documentary series with all of her claims about how Brigitte is a man. So let's go through all the claims that Candace made. So first things first, like, we're in a new world. Why is it so big of a deal if Brigitte is a man? Candace made some wild claims because, okay, she said, first things first, Brigitte was Emmanuel's teacher as a child. So that's already strike number one, because you're saying that this woman is a child predator. So that's already an issue. Then she said she's also stealing the identity of somebody else to hide this.
It is very clear that Brigitte Trogneau existed. It is very clear that she was, in fact, the sister of Jean-Michel Trogneau. And I think that if I am guessing what took place here, Jean-Michel Trogneau took Brigitte Trogneau's identity at some point. It's plausible that Brigitte Trogneau got sick, that the real Brigitte Trogneau got sick and perhaps had a dying wish to help her brother.
Then she said he might have been brainwashed. Then, like, Candace was just going on all kinds of tangents. And if you look in a vacuum, I mean, it seems like it could be true because nobody's actually refuting anything. But that doesn't mean that Candace actually knows what's going on. Then when Brigitte actually published the photo, Candace said, oh, that wasn't real. It was digitally altered, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's true. I honestly don't know what's true. I just know this has been a rabbit hole that Candace has been in for a while. Candace was so confident that Brigitte was a man that she even made a bet with Piers Morgan for like $300,000 going to their favorite charity. Like, she was this confident that she could not be wrong about this.
All right, last time we discussed this on Uncensored, I bet you $150,000 that you were wrong and that she's a woman. On X, when we discussed this further, I doubled it. This is for charity, to $300,000. You haven't accepted that yet. So right now, $300,000 to charity. I say she's a woman. Are you prepared to take that bet?
I am 1,000% prepared to take that bet. I actually didn't see your tweet, or I would have accepted it live. So
it even got so bad that Donald Trump was like, hey, he calls Candace, says, hey, we're trying to conduct a ceasefire over here. And Emmanuel Macron pulled me aside and said, hey, do you know Candace Owens? Can you tell her to stop? Because maybe we don't feel like having a ceasefire if she doesn't stop bullying my wife.
Okay, tell me about the phone call from Donald Trump in which he tried to get you to drop all this.
Yeah, certainly. I received a phone call, and to be clear, this was on the very same day that Emmanuel Macron visited the White House, ostensibly to discuss Ukraine and Russia. I received a phone call at first from a third party saying that, and what I was told was that Emmanuel Macron, who was negotiating in good faith regarding an end to the Ukraine and Russia war, which would have required his signature on some EU stuff, was holding up stuff because he wanted Trump to speak to me. To get me to stop talking about Brigitte Macron. Again, very odd measure.
Even after that, Candace still doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on these claims. And I'm like, because I remember hearing this story about a month ago. I want to say like a month ago. And I'm like, nobody's talking about how crazy this is, that the possible end to a war can happen if Candace Owens just stopped bullying this lady. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, just imagine, you listener, you're a podcaster, whatever you do, you're at home and you get a call from the president of the United States. Who cares what you think about him? You get a call from him and says, hey, can you stop bullying this person so we can stop a war? That is crazy to me. Anyway, now, surprise, surprise, Candace is being sued. And good for her. I don't know if she's right. I don't know if she's wrong. All I know is with her being sued, maybe this will stop her, one, from the conspiracy theories. Unless she wins, then she's never going to stop. And maybe we can get past this segment, because I'm so tired of hearing about this and Blake Lively. Both of them I don't care. I don't care about the Hollywood antics, and I definitely don't care about what's going on in France. So either way is a win for me. I just don't want to hear about this shit anymore. Now, we're going to see. Because Candace, she's smart. She talks a lot of shit. We're going to see if she's finally met her match, because this is a president. Candace got money and her husband has money. But this is a president. So let's see how this actually turns out with her wild theories, because this isn't the first time that Candace has had some wild statements. I'm not even going to get into it because a lot of it's too divisive to even really speak on. But this ain't the first time that she's going down a rabbit hole. And it's really unwarranted. Like, what does this do to make anybody better? So, like I said, if she gets sued, good for her. And if she loses, good for her too. But let me ask you, do y'all even watch Candace Owens? Like, should I never even speak on this topic again? Because I know, some people, depending on where you lie on the political spectrum, you may not watch this type of stuff. I'm interested in what both sides have to say, but if that's who you are, fine. We ain't even got to talk about it no more. But I just thought it was super interesting because I've kind of been following her this last year, and I'm like, this is wild. Does she have enough money to actually fight a president of France? Is she lying? Is Brigitte a man? Tell me what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.